Alright, I'm going to go ahead and explain mutations in as simple a way as possible. I might pause the video a few times. I have other stuff going on. There's people in the house, so bear with me. I'm going to get some stuff ready and I'll show you. Okay, we're going to start breeding some Argentavis. What I like to do, because I like breeding and getting mutations, is when I tame something, I will name it, the level and the gender it started out as well as the pertinent stats. So 25H is 25 health, 20S 20 stamina, 21 weight is 21W is 21 weight, 34M is 34 melee. As the other commenter pointed out, you can see this with the Super Spyglass mod. It's actually very helpful. So, for an example, I'm gonna cheat a little bit just so we can do this easier. Let's go take a look at a random wild creature here. We have a Morellatops. So I have the super binoculars, which is part of the mod. If you look at it, on the right hand side, you can now see all of its stats. Each stat has a number next to it. That 17 is 17 points in health, 15 in stam, so on and so forth. So when you're out taming stuff, you ideally want to look for, a good level with good points in each of these. But hang tight, and we'll get back to the breeding in a sec. Okay, so I have a male and a female Argentavis out. I labeled what their stats were. And something you want to do is you want to keep track of what their post-tame stats are. When you're breeding, you're best off not leveling the creatures that you're planning to breed. These are 217s, meaning they were a 145. I tamed them with full taming effectiveness, and they ended up at 217. So let's take a look at the male. These are the male stats. What I usually do, and I've already done this, is take a screenshot of this and label it, the same name as the male. And then you take a look at the female and do the same thing. Now, when you breed them, they're going to lay eggs, and the baby that comes out of those eggs is going to have some mixture of the mother and father's stats. So it could come out with 3139 health, 1240 stam, and 820 weight and 517 melee, or any variation thereof. What you really want to do, hang on a sec. What you really want to do is breed these together first without caring about whether you're getting mutations or not until the baby that comes out of the egg has the best of both parent stats. So this one has high health and stamina, and this one has higher weight and really high melee. I want the baby to come out with the mother's health and stam and the father's weight and melee. So I'm setting them to mating. As you can see, I have some pretty quick rates on right now just to make this a quicker process. I will come back once the mother has laid an egg. Alright, the mother is about to lay an egg. We can get ready to collect it from her. There we go. There's a fertilized egg. Ideally, what I like to do is allow them to lay a bunch of eggs, and then I can hatch them all in succession. So let's do that, and I'll be back with you. I wanted to highlight there are definitely some mods that can help you breed for mutations a lot easier. I have this mod. It is the D+ hatchery. There's also the D+ nanny. This imprints your dinos and feeds the babies. This one collects eggs as they're laid. So if we stand here for a second, it also incubates them down to 1%. So I'm going to do a quick slow-mo. Oh, never mind. There we go. The Argentavis outside had a baby. They're within range of this, and they just laid an egg. So this thing picked it up, and it's going to start incubating it. Normally, you have to take these eggs and put them somewhere where the temperature is of appropriate condition and let it hatch that way. I'll be back with you. Alright, just coming back for a sec. I did some breeding. Again, this is the phase where I'm trying to get 2 babies with all of the parents' best stats. So I hatched up 12 eggs, and They come in at various levels. Like this one's 198, which probably means it has the lowest of each parent's stats. If the babies are lower level than the parents, that's a bad sign. I did get a couple 230s, which is the highest level they came out as. And based on this, the female has all of the best stats except stamina, and the male has all of the best stats except weight. At this point, if you've reached, something like this, where the male and female have closer together stats, it would make it easier to just breed these two together. Note that neither of them has any mutations on either side, so this is a good thing, because once you start mutating, it's going to take up mutation slots, and you're going to be limited in the amount you can get. Sort of. I'll explain that later, but I'll be back with you. I'm going to breed these two together and try to get more perfect babies. Okay. While I was trying to breed up two perfect RGs, a male and a female, I actually ended up getting a mutation on one of them. Both of these are level 238, so they're higher level than the 230s I just bred together, and they have all of the good stats except the male here. I don't know where the mutation color range is. I'll explain that later, but he has a health mutation. His health is higher than either of the parents, so that's his situation. I'll be back. Okay, this is probably going to be like whiplash each time I pause and start recording the video again. I don't know how to edit, so you're just getting some raw footage with weird cuts. So I got two RGs, one male, one female. Both of them have all of the best stats from both of the original parents. You can see they're both level 238. Based on which stats they get, whether it's the highest from the parents or lowest from the parents, that's going to determine what level they come out as. Again, I'm trying not to make it super complicated, but you can see this one has all the same stats as this one. Okay, so then once you've got your perfect male and female, like I said, I like to name them perfect male and female, you're going to start breeding those two together. This is the part where you want to start getting mutations. So I will come back once we've gotten a mutation. Alright, so this is why it becomes important not to level or imprint the parents. It's just so it can make it easier for you to keep track. Note, both of these parents are level 238. I hatched about 15 eggs. I try to do like 15 at a time to give me a good chance to get mutations. And I got a bunch of 238s. And I got a 240. A baby that comes out mutated is always going to be, well, if it has one mutation, is always going to be 2 levels higher than the parents. So this one, you can see it says 1 mutation on the paternal side. And if you look down next to its food stat, it's got a 2 right there. That just signifies that it's got a food mutation. Not really what we were looking for, but it is a mutation nonetheless. So essentially, this baby has, I think it's like 400 points more food than the parents. Yeah, they have 85.99. It has 89.99. Now, what you would want to do is keep these breeding until you get a female that is also mutated. Or, alternatively, you can take the male out of the equation bring in the mutated male, wait for it to grow up, and then use that for breeding. Now, apparently, every mutation comes with a mutated color region. Sometimes it's difficult to tell, and sometimes the mutation will land on a color region that particular species doesn't have. This color mutation doesn't seem to be very noticeable. I can't even honestly tell what it is, unless it's like the talons or something. But let's come back when this little guy grows up. As you can see, I have pretty quick mature settings on right now, and we will start breeding these ones. You know what? I'll come back once these ones have had some eggs and got a mutation. Okay, so I did some more breeding on those two. Um, let's go outside so we can explain this a little bit better. The mother is 238. She has no mutations. If you click on Show Ancestors, 0 mutations. The father is 240, and he has 1 mutation from the father's side. By the way, completely forgot, when this happens, I like to name them +1 food male, just to indicate he's got +1 food mutation. When you breed them, they will either come out 240, which means that they have all of the father's stats. They have everything, including that food mutation. They will come out 238 with all the mother's stats, meaning they did not inherit the mutation. Or they'll come out 242, which is what you're really looking for. The extra 2 levels means that it got the food mutation, but it also got another mutation. In this case, after another 15 eggs, I didn't get any 242s. I got some 240s, and one of them has an extra mutation. This means this one was born with all of the mother's stats. It didn't get the food mutation, but it got a different mutation. As you can see, next to the oxygen, it says 2, meaning it got a oxygen mutation. Note that I don't know, it's been so long that I've played without these kind of mods that I don't know if normal cryopods even show that 2/254. But yeah, you can see that on the top right it says 2 mutations paternal. It doesn't have both mutations, but it's logged 2 mutations in its lineage. Not ideal, but what we can do is replace the mother. Oh, there's a thunderstorm. My cryopods don't work. Stand by. We can replace the mother with this female that has the oxygen mutation. By the way, food and oxygen, like the last 2 things I wanted mutated on these guys. This is definitely not ideal. I probably wouldn't even keep using these normally. But, just for the sake of demonstration, we're going to say +1 female. Alright, we'll come back when she's grown up, and we will breed these 2 together. I'm not going to go on much longer on this video. I really wanted to make it shorter than this, but I think one more round we should be able to cover everything. Alright, I accidentally unpaused there for a second. I hit the pause key again. Anyway, I'm back, and we have finished breeding up a bunch of eggs between these 2. Note that since this one got a different mutation and didn't get this one a mutation, they're both 240, but without the mutation, this one would have been 238 as well. So if one of the babies comes out with both mutations, it's going to be for 242. If one of the babies comes out with both the oxygen and the food mutation and an extra mutation, it's going to be level 244. We got one baby that was level 244. This one has an oxygen, a food, and finally something good, a melee mutation. On the side there, note that it says 3 mutations from the mother's side and 1 mutation from the father's side. I also have the color regions there. You see those numbers. I think that 75 there, that orange color, is a new color. I know it is, but I'm hoping it's one that we can actually see. So let's let this one out. Oh yeah, it's the top of its head. Okay, so because it got the other mutation, it now has this little orange color on the top of its head. You can get some pretty cool and unique colors this way. I might hop over to my extinction save and show you some of the cool colors I've gotten before I end this. But yeah, basically this baby has the food, oxygen, and a melee mutation. Now, if you don't have all these mods and you can't tell the way that I tell, oh look, it was the feet. Cool. Okay. One of the color regions was the feet, one of the mutations. If you can't tell the way that I tell, you can just look at the current parent's stats and then compare the babies to them. So, like, this parent is 518 melee. This parent has 518 melee. When we look at their baby and it has 532 melee, it's got a melee mutation. Something to note that's very important, you'll see when you go to show ancestors, 3 out of 20 and 1 out of 20. Each time you breed mutated babies together, if they have the same mutations, like let's say we got 2 babies, a male and a female, that were both 244 with all the same mutations, and we breed them together, it's going to come up with 6 mutations and 6 mutations, plus whatever else. Because the father will have had 3 mutations, the mother will have had 3 mutations. Sorry, no, it's going to be 3 and 3. And if it comes out with another mutation, it might be 3 and 4 this way or 3 and 4 that way. I know this is still a bit confusing, but it caps out at 20. So as you mutate, you want to be careful about which mutations you choose to keep, because if I kept this oxygen in food, that takes up mutation slots. I don't really care about those. So I would probably not do that and go for melee, stamina, weight, health, so on and so forth. I hope this is a little easier to understand. I am going to go over to my extinction save and show you some of the cool mutations I've gotten there. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, I've lined up all of my cooler mutations. See, this is kind of what I'm hoping for on another RG. I don't know that this is a natural color they get out in the wild, but this Anki, it has like Joker colors from Batman. I didn't want to give it like a dumb name like Joker, but it does look pretty cool. Again, this is because it has a bunch of mutations and a bunch of its stats, increasing all of them and making it easier to get high stats. Same with this. I really like this color for the Snow Owl. It has like a bunch of health, stamina, mutation. Stamina is huge. I get a bunch of mutation. I don't know exactly when I paused, but I was showing, the stacked mutations on these and how far you can actually get, and kind of just what these all came out looking like. I can do a longer video on this, go through like the whole process, but it would take a long time. If you want that, I can do that next time I actually bother to go through and do some mutations. But I don't know. If you have any questions, post on Reddit again, or you comment on the video, so on and so forth. Hopefully this helps. I feel like it might have gotten too confusing in certain spots. I pause the recording at weird times because I'm not used to this. I don't really make YouTube videos. I post some for, to show friends stuff, so on and so forth. But hopefully it helps. Bye.